Hi everybody, I'm Arkush for ChicagoSunTimes.com, here to preview the first weekend of playoff action on the 2014 NFL season. It is Wildcard weekend, and it starts with an unlikely matchup. The Arizona Cardinals, remember the last undefeated team in the league this year? They were 9-1 before stumbling to a 2-4 finish. They've lost their starting quarterback, Carson Palmer. They've lost his backup, Drew Stanton, and they will go to Carolina, where the Panthers are just the second sub-500 division champion in the playoffs since the NFL went to this playoff format back in 1990. You're talking about a 7-8-1 football team taking on an 11-5 team, and yet the Panthers with the sub-500 record are at home. What do you worry about with Carolina? The defense has gotten much better in recent weeks. Also, Jonathan Stewart's gotten healthy. DeAngelo Williams may be back. They have found that ground game. They've won 4 straight. For the Cardinals, the question is real simple. Can their third-string quarterback, Ryan Lindley, do enough to work with that outstanding Arizona defense to give the Cardinals a chance on the road in the playoffs? The Panthers will be favored at home in spite of the difference in the records. The Saturday night game, that'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting their AFC North rival, the Baltimore Ravens. Now remember, week 2, Ravens handled the Steelers pretty well, 26-6. But then when they met just a few weeks back, actually it was in, I believe, mid-November, it was the Steelers putting 43 points on the board and winning by 20. And there's no question that the AFC North champion Steelers are the hotter football team right now. Remember, the Ravens, with a chance to control their own destiny, week 16, went and got upset at Houston and then needed a come-from-behind fourth-quarter victory on the last day of the season and help from other teams just to get into the playoffs. With Pittsburgh at home, they could be difficult to beat. But the key to this football game, the Steelers' MVP this season, Le'Veon Bell, their running back, injured the knee, hyperextended right knee in the final game of the season in which they clinched the division title and this home field playoff game. His status will be unknown right up until kickoff, and without Bell, it becomes a much tougher putt for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The first game on Sunday, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're the club that lost that final Sunday night game to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. That's what caused them to go on the road as a wild card as opposed to having a home team, and they have to go to Indianapolis. Now, this is not good news for the Bengals, as they were in Indianapolis back on October 19th, and they got smoked by the Colts. So if you believe in past results, there's good reason to think that Indianapolis is in pretty good shape here. But the problem for the Colts, they've got no ground game to speak of, and their defense did struggle a little bit down the stretch. They also have to take care of the football. Andrew Luck, the best young quarterback in football, but he cannot continue to throw interceptions. That's one problem he's going to have to clean up. For Cincinnati, A.J. Green suffered what appeared to be a serious concussion in their final game against the Steelers on the final Sunday night of the season. He is in the NFL's concussion protocol. No idea whether he'll be able to go, but he's going to be doubtful as best, as badly as he got banged up just a week earlier. Huge loss for the Bengals if they're going to try and win on the road at a place where they've already been routed once this season. And then wrapping up the playoffs this weekend, wrapping up the wild cards, we've got the Detroit Lions visiting the Dallas Cowboys. The big story here, Cowboys back in the playoffs. They've got one playoff win in the last 20 years, but they're saying this is a different team with a new set of triplets. This all revolves around Tony Romo, Des Bryant, and DeMarco Murray. Murray had the surgery on that left hand 2 weeks ago, but played through it in their finale and should be fine. The problem for the Cowboys, they're only 4-4 at home. They're 8-0 on the road. They play this one at home. The Detroit Lions come in with the #1 run defense in the league, which would seem to be great for DeMarco Murray, but their best player, Ndamukong Suh, he's been suspended by the NFL for 1 game for stepping on Aaron Rodgers in their finale. Now, he did appeal that suspension. He's not definitely out, but he's likely out, and that is a huge loss for the Detroit Lions, whose offense has struggled mightily. Matt Stafford not playing his best football of the season. The Dallas Cowboys will probably be the heaviest favorite of the weekend, even though that Lions defense may be the one unit in the league ready to deal with DeMarco Murray. It should be a great weekend of football. For all the best in coverage and results and all the news you want on sports in the NFL 24/7, stay right where you're at ChicagoSunTimes.com.